Welcome to the first episode of the Usapang PSME podcast. We are music educators and practitioners who collaborate and make life better through music. I'm Veronica Eugenio, your PSME board member, and we are joined by three remarkable music educators who create a safe and inclusive space for music. Before I introduce our beautiful educators, Usapang PSME was created in January of 2021, and now we are welcoming you as our first episode in a podcast format. Our first speaker that we'll welcome is Miss Ella Katrina N. Corpus. Miss Ella is a graduate from the University of Santo Tomas Conservatory of Music, major in music education, emphasis voice under Professor Gloria Coronel, one of the renowned coloratura sopranos in the Philippines. Minor in piano under Dr. Dolores T. Andres. She took academic master's units at the UST Graduate School of Masters for Arts in Music Education. She is an educator by profession with various exposures to different fields of music, such as performance, theater, and both classroom teaching and administrative work and research. She's a faculty member at the Elizabeth Seton School of Las Piñas. Currently, she is the institutional production coordinator of the school for their upcoming 50th anniversary musical, To Where It Begins, which will be held at the Theater at Soler this coming November 22, 2025. She is an active member of the Philippine Society for Music Educators and currently the PRO. Miss Ella is an advocate of Philippine music, and currently she is also an assistant researcher of Musica Pilipinas, a research project funded by the National Research Council of the Philippines, implemented by the UST Research Center for Culture, Arts, and Humanities under the leadership of Dr. Maria Alexander I. Chua. Lastly, she is completing her master's thesis in distance education at the University of the Philippines, Open University. Let's welcome Ma'am Ella. Yay! Okay, Ma'am Ella, here's our lightning round. Music education or music therapy?
Oh my. Both are very good, but I think music education.
Okay, kakanta or tutugtog?
Kakanta.
Yes. Thriving career or true love?
Oh my. Sige na, true love. Go.
Basic education or higher education?
Basic ed as of the moment.
Eat the marshmallow or wait for the other marshmallow?
Wait for the others.
Wow. And what is your love language?
Quality time.
Oh, nice. And how about individualized instruction or universal design of learning?
Individualized, I think.
Oh, it would be so nice to listen more about that later. Dagat o bundok?
Dagat.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Ella. Okay. Our next educator is Graciel Tumanda. Graciel graduated cum laude with a degree of Bachelor of Music in Music Education and Piano Performance as her concentration at the University of the Philippines Diliman College of Music. She recently graduated with a Master of Arts in Music Therapy at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok, Thailand. With Graciel's strong music teaching foundation, she has been able to share her knowledge of music for all ages since 2014, both in one-on-one and classroom settings. She has also coached and trained students who have joined inter-school and intercity music contests that garner top places. Aside from formal classroom instruction, she has also been able to teach adults the church music produce as missionaries and ministry musicians. She has also been able to actively volunteer and has been involved in fundraising and for tribute concerts for contributing to the armed forces of the Philippines. Her clinical music experience in music therapy involves working with neurodivergent and neurotypical children. She is trained in conducting individual and group music therapy sessions, mostly for ADHD, autism, and intellectual disabilities, as well as emotional or behavioral disorder symptoms. Now, she is currently teaching in an inclusive program and progressive school as a music and special needs teacher. And she also is establishing her private practice in music therapy called Hemic Music Therapy PH. Let's welcome teacher Grace Shell. Okay, Miss Grace Shell, music education or music therapy?
Nahirap ko eh. But but now I think music therapy.
Okay.
Nahirap ko rin.
Kakanta or tutugtog?
Tutugtog. Tutugtog, yeah.
Thriving career or true love?
I think now, kakagraduate ko lang. So, thriving career. Yeah, thriving career.
Basic education or higher education?
Basic education.
Mm.
Yeah.
Eat the marshmallow or wait for the other marshmallow?
Eat. Eat the marshmallow. Eat it right away. Yeah.
Ikaw yung pinaka-proud na narinig ko na
Naiit.
sabi, eat it right away.
Yeah.
How about what is your love language?
I think it's also quality time. Yeah, quality time.
Oh, same with Ma'am Ella.
Yeah.
And individualized instruction or universal design of learning?
Individualized instruction.
Oh, and then dagat o bundok?
Dagat. 100% dagat.
Madami palang compatibilities tayo dito. Okay, thank you very much. Our next speaker is Gabrielle Rodriguez or Abby Rodriguez. She graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree in music, majoring in piano performance from the University of the Philippines College of Music, where she also earned a diploma in creative and performing musical arts. She has performed in several solo recitals, competitions, and master classes that shaped her musical growth. Gabrielle has taught piano to young children in both the Philippines and Singapore, including her time as a faculty member at the Aureus Academy. Her experience working with students of differing abilities deepened her passion for using music as a way to connect and create inclusive learning spaces. In 2022, Gabrielle pursued her master's in music education, autism concentration at the Berklee College of Music in Boston. She is currently a piano instructor at the Berklee Institute for Accessible Arts Education, BIAAE, teaching piano to students with disabilities. Gabrielle trained teachers in Singapore for a year on inclusive teaching practices and is now back in the Philippines to establish a music school for students with disabilities. Give it a hand for Abby or Gabrielle Rodriguez.
Hello, hi, thank you.
So, let's have our lightning round. Music education or music therapy?
Both are important. I agree with Rachel and Trina, but music education for me.
Kakanta or tutugtog?
Oh no, because I love to sing, pero hindi niya ako mahal. So, tutugtog na lang.
Thriving career or true love?
Always thriving career.
Basic education or higher education?
Higher education.
Eat the marshmallow or wait for the other marshmallow?
I think I'm gonna wait for the other marshmallow.
Okay. What is your love language?
I think acts of service.
Same tayo. How about individual instruction or universal design of learning?
UDL all the way.
UDL also.
Universal.
Okay. Dagat o bundok?
Bundok.
Oh, may bagong answer.
Mainit kasi pag pag bundok tayo.
My point, my point. Okay. So, guys, I have collated and created some questions based on our professions and what the audience sent us because we had the audience send some questions ahead. So, any one of you can answer first. Just raise your hand. The first question is, what made you choose music education or music therapy? So, who wants to go first? You can just raise your hand. I feel like my answer na si Graciel.
Sige. I think the reason why I I chose music therapy, medyo related siya sa music education. Kasi my undergrad was music education, di ba? So like when I was teaching before, even with practicums, and then I was teaching na already, I was working na. So I really saw how music worked with the children. Like not just like teaching them the instruments, teaching them the concepts. Pero kasi it works then like for transitions in different areas, 'di ba, ng lesson. So I wanted to know kung bakit siya gumagana sa students. Like especially during that time I was teaching elementary. Like if you just tell them na ganto ganyan ganyan ganyan, medyo nahirapan sila. Like, if you tell them verbally, parang nahirapan silang gawin yung something, yung lesson, ganyan. But if you sing it to them, if you add like musical activities, ang bilis na lang makuha. So, I really wanted to know bakit ganun. So, when I saw the program, okay, music therapy, I think it will explain my questions na why. Bakit kaya ganun? So, that's why I took music therapy. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So you're looking at the behavioral side. Why the students responded more effectively towards music. Thank you. Okay, who would like to answer next? Abby? Okay, Abby.
Yeah, okay. So, actually, I wanted to pursue piano pedagogy back when I was teaching in Singapore. But then during that time also, it was pandemic. My nephew got diagnosed with autism. And so, medyo napapansin ko na rin yung difference between, my students and then yung developmental stage ni Charlie, yung nephew ko. And so, doon ko na-realize na parang, I wanna understand him more. And then also when I was teaching in Singapore, then I was exposed to different types of students with different abilities. And so I was thinking, anong kulang sa pagtuturo ko na, kasi I see their skills, I see the potential, I see yung galing nila, pero
Yes.
hindi, sa sarili ko, I feel like I was lacking the instruction, the correct method, the correct, like, I'm not equipped enough to be able to teach them properly. And so, yun, the reason why, doon ako nag-start mag-search ng masters, in music pa rin. I still want music to be there. But at the same time, specializing in dati nung special needs pa, but now autism or other disabilities.
Nice. So your questions were more centered on, well, how can I reach this group? How can I better teach this group, right? Thank you,
Yes,
Abby.
definitely.
I'm really excited to hear you talk more about that. And I did not know that about your nephew. That's such a personal thing, no? Yeah. How about you, Miss Ella?
Of course, I'm always amazed with music therapists. Si Ma'am Rachel, si Teacher Rachel or Ma'am Rachel. When I was in my second year college, I was so amazed. Sabi ko, sana yung music therapy, ganyan. Hanggang nung sa masteral, parang how I wish may music therapy. Meron nung time na yun, parang how I wish may music therapy sa, sa masteral. Pero parang during that time, sa ibang bansa pa siya, which is impossible naman then because I'm still, finding my path kung magti-teach ba talaga or something. Pero, yun, na-amaze ako with music therapy talaga. But I think I am leaning more into music education talaga. Kasi, yun nga, naalala ko na when I was in college, nag-wonder ako how things are gonna be when you teach music. Kasi during our time, pag music lang siya. I don't know if hindi naman siguro ganun kasing tanda na naalala ko yung music namin, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do lang. And that's it. Tapos, nung nag-high school kami, meron lang akong pinanood. Noon dati very traditional. Parang nanood lang kami ng may gumagawa ng bamboo instrument. Tapos yun na. Yun na yung music namin. Tapos parang ako, talaga ba? Ganun ba siya? So, there was a need for me, I think, nasabi ko, siguro pag ako yung naging music teacher, parang, kasi nandun na rin ako sa course eh. So, parang, hindi siguro. I wanted it a bit different, ganyan.
Yes.
Now, because we have different strategies already in music. So, what happened was, ngayon, when people get to see what we do in music, when we play, when we do dalcros, we do all these things, kodai and everything. Tapos parang, the people same my age or like, ganyan ba tayo nagmo-music dati? Parang hindi naman. So, it's different. It's really different. Kasi maybe because we're the generation, wow, next, tayo na yung generation to make a difference per se dun sa mga nangyayari. So, I think yun nga, medyo nag-lean on to ako dun na pwede naman pala siyang ituro ng ganito. Ayun po.
That's nice. So really, I think each of us, we saw a common need in our communities. We had curiosity on how to make things better for everyone. So how about, what are some tools that you guys think that you can give to some teachers now that they can implement in their classrooms to help students, to help connect with students, to help build a music classroom that is more exciting, that's more fun, or even one that is more safe and welcoming? Yes, Abby.
Yeah, there's so many things. We can go all night. Enumerating. Pero siguro in a general na lang aspect, visual supports. Those are the best things you can give your students. Visual supports, like even just pictures of their schedules,
Yes.
color notation, song charts, or like words that they can follow along. Kasi ano na yun for example, for those who are not uh, who are struggling with, for example, auditory or who are non-speaking, non-verbal, andyan yung visuals.
Yes.
And it retain information more. Tapos, ano ba? So visuals is one. I don't think I'm not sure if it's a tool, but then always have your lesson structured. It's one of the things na gusto ko palaging meron yung class ko. So structured routines. Very predictable yung classes. The students know what to expect, so it's not so anxious for them to come in every lesson. They know exactly what's going to happen. Especially during like transitions. So those are really important kasi usually the transitions are sometimes the triggers to, meltdowns, being overwhelmed. So yeah, yun. So just provide structure and a lot of visuals for me.
Thank you, Abby. Yes, visuals are so important, right? I do know that like when you feel anxious or even for kids na once they see that visual cue, mas natutuwa pa sila. Sometimes they get even more motivated na, oh wow, that's my schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be, super fancy. It's just
Sorry, we lost you. It doesn't need to be super fancy. Can you
It
say it
doesn't need to be
again?
super fancy. Like as teachers, I know how creative we are.
Mhm.
But then just having like a visual schedule right in front of the student really helps a lot already.
Yes, thank you, Abby. I love that. Okay, who else would like to share? Yes, Ma'am Trina.
Yes. Ako parang yun. And support with routine. Yes, routine is very important. Like, for
Mm-mm.
us in basic ed, we go to the music room eh. Diba?
Mm-mm.
Parang, we go from one place to another. I remember when I was teaching grade 1, the first thing that we do is to teach them how to go to the music room.
Oh
Fall
wow.
in line. Yes, you have to fall in line. And then we have a line song like that. And then going there, we have signals, ganyan. Lalo na sa maliliit. Siguro kasi medyo naturuan ko na from the most, from primary up to high school. High school is a different thing. They can
Mm-mm.
do they can do whatever they have to do. And for you, you have to be firm naman when you teach them. Um I also like yun din. I don't know if it's a tool also or something, pero the instruments that we have, parang I think it's very important that they get to, same as with um Ma'am Gabriel, na parang nakikita nila. It's different eh when you ito yung video ng, let's say, Philippine instruments, but when they get to see it, when they get to hold it, I like it when I love it when I teach that, because
Mm-mm.
ito pala yung nakita namin sa picture. Ito pala yung actual niyang tunog. Yun. So they get to be interested with the music itself, and then also um mas interesting sa kanila, and they look forward to it on a weekly basis, because sometimes naman the music classes are not like every day.
Yes.
Unlike yung mga subjects na iba, they see each other every day, but for us kasi sometimes we're just twice a week, ganyan. So they really look forward to it, na we're gonna go to the music room, ganyan. Tas pag hindi mag-go sa music room, sad sila. Parang mga ganon. So ayun, yun lang, they get to hear it kasi there's a difference between yun talagang nahahawakan nila. Nakakatulong yung visual natin din talaga, and routines and everything, with the support of what we have. Tapos, if sometimes yung nangyayari, syempre, hindi naman lahat ng schools were able to do it, di ba? We're able to
Mm-mm.
have all these instruments. That's why, for us teachers, in reality, we have to be creative also. 'Di ba? Parang gano'n, and also teach the kids how to improvise things. This is how it looks like, and we can do something like this. Ayun po.
I love that. So, pakonti-konting lumalabas yung tools. And I like that aside from visual and routine, you have the experience in the classroom, really getting your students to experience Filipino music. And not only Western, but Filipino music, having the bamboo instruments there. How about you, Ma'am Grishel?
I totally agree with the visuals and the routines. Like also, um, I remembered I tried one with one of my students, like high functioning siya. So the routines are there, pero what I do is like I ask him, oh, like I ask him, what are we gonna do? Kasi 'di ba na-establish na yung routine. So if sa kanila galing, they have that sense of responsibility din. Parang that's why they will commit to it more. I really love that. I really love doing that. Lalo na pag sila yung, after this, we will have that, ganyan-ganyan. I really love that. It's very, very good for them. And then also, one thing, I think I know that music therapy and music education is different talaga, but I got something from music therapy na I applied then in the classroom. Is that the environment? Like for example, like if I want them to I know that mostly for autism, minsan nahirapan sila sa change, but somehow like konting change naman is okay, 'di ba? So if I want them to be in to be interested with a specific instrument, I put it in a place na I know na mapapansin nila, something ganon. Kasi in music therapy, like the environment is very important.
Yes.
Kung saan nakalagay yung instruments, very important siya. So I tried it in the classroom and it's actually good din. So nilalagay ko yung instruments na, let's just say, shakers. If I want them to notice the shakers, lalagay ko siya sa place na alam kong mapapansin siya. And then if, let's just say, if we will play, um, like just say, rainmakers, pero ayoko na yun agad yung makita nila, ilalagay ko siya somewhere na medyo less appealing for the children, parang ganun.
Mm-mm.
So, the environment talaga is, yung natutunan ko siya, and then I tried it, nakita ko na, oh, okay. So, it's also effective then inside the classroom. Yeah.
That's really nice. So you help also give those visual cues to the kids by putting the instruments in a strategic place, and then you give them the voice and the choice. You let the students say na, this is what we're gonna do next. That's really nice. Now, from either of you, do you have like specific examples on how you help students? This might be more applicable for therapy, in terms of changing or adapting or modifying the instrument, or adapting the musical line, so that they are able to experience performing and really being in the music class. Yes, Abby.
Yeah, so I want to share one of my students kasi naalala ko while Graciel tama ba? Was speaking. So I have this student. So he's been with me for about a year, and so his pieces are medyo advanced na around grade 7 ABRSM. And we were, I think, discussing, I can't remember the piece, but siguro parang Beethoven ata yun. And I was asking him to do crescendo or to change tempo towards the end. So there was a retardando towards the end. I'm not sure if it was Beethoven, maybe it was a romantic piece. But anyway, so there was a retardando at the end. And we were stuck in that phrase for such a long time kasi nahihirapan siya or siguro ako din na I wasn't able to explain it very clearly to him how to actually do retardando. So the way that I was telling him before was, okay, just feel the music, like slow down, breathe. You know how our professors would usually explain it to us, like take your time, breathe. But then for them, that's not something that's tangible. It's not
Yeah.
something what is breathe? What is take your time? What does that mean, right? So I just recently discovered that this student is also like, I know there's perfect pitch, and they are amazing at that. So
Wow.
this student is perfect pitch and he's perfect tempo. I was so shocked kasi I was tumutugtog ako, and then I told them, "Oh, can you try a faster tempo around this?" And then I played the part of the piece. And then he just shouted 75. Ano 75? So talaga, so hindi ko siya pinansin. So sabi niya, tumugtog lang ako. So sabi niya, that's 75 beats per minute. So parang ako, okay. So chinet ko yung metronome ko to 75, and I started playing. Parang sobrang eksakto. And then I said, okay, can we try this tempo? So I played another, the same phrase, but then faster. And he goes, that's 112. 100,
Wow.
hindi 110, hindi 100, 112. So like, okay. So I set it 112, and tama siya. So dun ko na-realize, okay. So he's very strict with time. He's very
Yeah.
good at it. So
Yeah.
let me try using that to teach retardando. So I started with, okay, I start with 110, then go down to 105, then 100, then 95, then ang ganda ng pagtugtog niya.
Wow.
My brain just exploded. Parang that was like a light bulb moment na, okay, nagkaintindihan tayo. I was able to meet you where you are. So that's one of the things na very unforgettable for me. Kasi, yun na nga, that's something tangible for him. That's something that he can understand. So dapat ko lang siyang i-meet kung nasaan siya. Yan.
Yeah, I love that. You said you should meet your student where they are, right? And
Always.
not being not thinking na, okay, no, you have to breathe, you have to slow down. You're really giving the opportunity for the student to provide input. So thank you so much. That's such a good example.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, who would like to go also? Does anybody else want to share how they modify or adapt their instrument? So when you modify instruments, right, that's also you can either change the instrument or when you modify an instrumental arrangement, for example, let's say your student has a complicated piece. You simplify the melodic line for them to understand it, and then later on, increase the difficulty as they're able to get it. Or if that's what they can do, like the simplified melodic line, that's still playing with the music. And I think that's really something that we can do. And that's another example of modifying the instrumentation or the music itself. How about Gracel? Is there? Yes.
In the therapy side naman, yung therapy side niya, explain ko. So we have this thing, hindi, sige. When we plan our sessions, para rin lang siyang lesson plan, parang ganon. Pero syempre, different format and all. Pero when we plan it, we always have a backup. Like, kasi, every session, it is gonna be different talaga. So, for example, kasi with therapy talaga, parang super talaga in-implement yung we don't force talaga. Parang okay, pag talagang ayaw niya, then no talaga. Ganon. So, we have our, parang flexibility is important.
Yes.
So, meron kaming plans na okay, if it's too easy, dadagdagan namin. Meron din kaming plan na para extra challenge. And then if it's too hard for them, meron kaming parang less, parang gano'n, naka-indicate din siya sa plan. Ano. And then, we have this one method that we use in a session. So it's called, if you're familiar, the recreative method in music therapy. So recreative method is like, kasi sabi mo nga na, to encourage them to perform. Ang gano'n, yeah. So we have recreative method. It can be with instruments. It can also be through singing. So parang we use existing songs, parang ganyan, familiar songs na ng mga clients sa session namin. So for example, like we want them to open up, parang ganon, open up, so we will use a song, for example, Remember Me by Coco, parang ganon.
Yes.
So like, okay, we will use Remember Me, we will song Remember Me, and then some lines of it, we will change it. So we can have guide questions like, okay, so, how do you want your friends to remember you? Parang ganon. So we change it a bit. So for them to encourage them to share, not just that, to encourage them also to sing. Ganon. Kasi talagang it's very important talaga na yung gagawin nila in a session is gusto talaga nila. Kasi we build trust. We really build trust. Trust is very important in a session. So if we force them to do something, baka hindi na sila bumalik. Parang ganon, we have that. In our mind, we always keep that in mind. Kaya ang ginagawa namin, yun. So we use that method as well for that, to encourage them. So, ganon. So parang sometimes, does the client want Coco? Do they like Coco? Parang ganyan. Or kung ayaw ba, we will use a different song from a movie he or she likes. Parang ganon. So it's really depend talaga sa client, sa child, or sa patient na we're with. So, yun, with therapy, it's really about flexibility.
Yes.
Kaya parang, which I can also apply in the classroom recently. Recently, kasi in the school where I work now, it's inclusive. Parang sometimes it's mixed neurodivergent and
Mm-mm.
then neurotypical, magkakasama siya. Parang ganon. So, sometimes, meron talagang part na you have to uh, be flexible with the neurodivergent students,
Mm-mm.
ganyan. But what's good is like in an inclusive school, the neurotypical children, they're very understanding, like they're used to it na. So even them, they help them inside the classroom, which is something that I really love. Yun. Goodness.
Oh, wow. So you mentioned very interesting things, like, for example, using the interest of the student or interest of the client to help motivate them and to help bring out their shared experience, which I think is so important because you're also affirming their identity. You're affirming what they're going through. And then you also mentioned um, having peers having peers in the classroom. Now, before we move forward, because I really want to go more into that, how do you help create an inclusive environment in your schools? So, if ever Miss Ma'am Ella would like to share her answer for the previous question, we can. But I want our other speakers to think about how we create a more inclusive environment with the peers as well with the community. All right. Ma'am Ella, would you like to share, based on our previous question, like how you make your classroom, what tools you use to modify or adapt?
Ako parang I was listening to all of them, to both of them, parang almost the same rin nung
Mm-mm.
ginagawa ko sa classroom. And getting their interest is very important because,
Yeah.
like, for example, if you try to teach them, for us, parang kasi, if you try to teach them, let's say, Rondalia, di ba?
Mm-mm.
Pictures are there, your slides are there, but yun lang, the thing that they get to see are the pictures and how it sounds. But if you get to get because lately there are some Rondalia groups, pero medyo more on research din talaga siya
Mm-mm.
to get a very reliable source. There are some Rondalia groups here in our country na they play pop songs. They play Ben and Ben. They
Ah.
play all these things. So, yun yung mga pop culture. So, when they get to hear it, nung one time, I remember, kasi syempre marami kaming music teacher, and then my son also, he was singing this Ben and Ben, and then narinig ko, are you singing that? Because this is what we had during our Rondalia time. So, parang
Wow.
ganon. It was very interesting, and he's like, grade 4, Rondalia? Something like that. Diba? First, because of the K to 12, because of the matatag curriculum that we have right now, diba? It's more of localization and all those things. So, nakakatuwa on how to get their interest. Yun din eh. Parang very important na nakukuha niyo yung interest ng mga bata.
Mm-mm.
And, what else? For little kids, you get to play with them first. Yun din.
Yeah.
It's the level of difficulty. Kasi hindi mo sila, for example, if you wanted to teach notes, hindi mo sila pwedeng bigyan agad ng 16th note, yung mga, they wouldn't understand. So, again, ang daming videos din. But, of course, I make sure that it's a reliable video. And then, I remember pandemic came in, diba? Everyone was online, ganyan. So, hinalukay ko yung mga videos ko. Kasi wala akong choice eh, diba? Mag-video ka, magkaroon ka asynchronous mo, ganyan. So, and then when they get to see teacher do it, it's let's do it together, ganyan. So, yung mga simple na rhythm, long and short sound. Yung mga ganon. So, parang enjoy na sila dun sa. But they get to understand. They get to understand
Yes.
things. Yeah, it's something, minsan parang matatawa ka na lang kasi parang laro na lang rin sa'yo, pero it's really fun. Sometimes yes, of course, it's very tiring.
Mm-mm.
Aminin nyo, mas minsan pagod tayo sa mga teachers talaga kasi we walk around, lalo na pag manggagaling ka sa primary,
Mm-mm.
oh my Talagang their energy, kailangan mas mataas din yung energy mo sa kanila or kay mo. So, yun. And then, what's your other thing? What's your other question again?
Yes,
Sorry.
yes. First, I want to highlight, ang ganda ng sinabi niyo, Ma'am Ella, kasi you also said using contemporary pop music to engage them. I think that's really important. And even in Rondalia, they're using Filipino OPM. And then also, what you said about playing with children. I love that. I think that makes it meaningful for the kids that they see teachers play with them. Hindi lang yung parang, this is an eighth note,
Yes. Correct, correct.
quarter note.
Yeah, yeah. And then what I do, as I always say, I'm an advocate of Philippine music. I always have my bamboo instruments. And as early as grade 2, grade 1, we do rhythm, but we use that. It's fun. So we do bongkaka. Pero in terms of those instruments, kasi parang I get to let them realize also that, for example, you have to respect these instruments. So there's integration of respect, the integration of being a community, ganyan, 'di ba? It's like there's a leader, you call and you respond, and they get to understand those things. In terms of, you were saying about inclusivity in the classroom, ako yun nga, ulitin ko, I'm very, it's very important for me that people respect other people, especially when people present. Kasi 'di ba sa school performance task, they present. So whatever it is, nasa tono ba sila? Wala sila sa tono or ano, nasa rhythm pa sila or wala. I always tell them that we always have to have feedback with each other, but it has to be very respectful.
Yes.
Of course, sometimes hindi naman kasi lahat magaling kumanta, hindi naman lahat magaling sumayaw. So what we do, enable to address all those things, nagdi-differentiated instructions tayo. We do that. So with that, they get to show also how to interpret this and that, maybe in arts, but it's the theme of the song, something like that. Or maybe the other group will sing, the other group will dance, something like that. So, because those kids nowadays, they have different learning strategies. And minsan, pag makikita mo, in terms of technology, mas magaling pa sila sa'yo.
Yes, yes.
They're like, ano ba yun? Natives, technology natives. Ano ba tawag doon? May tawag sila doon eh. Yung talagang ang bilis sila mag-type. Tayo, kailan natin na-memorize yung QWERTY? Aminin nyo, na nagka-cellphone. Pero sila ngayon, kahit grade 2, diba? Remember, because the pandemic changed everything.
Yes.
Para the pandemic had an impact. There was good side of it and then the negative side as well. Pero people were, the kids nowadays, they are more on technology. So, we also try to do learning labs in terms of technology. We do that. And then, for example, in their robotics, we also integrate music with their robotics as well. So, meron kaming yung mga microbit and then they get to play simple songs with that and then robotics. And then they get to code it.
Wow.
Yeah, get to code it, something like that. Yun, medyo ano siya. Tapos they get to do also experiments. So, pag pinrest mo yung basta may mga coding, tutunog siya na Beethoven, tutunog siya na ganito. Yun, yung mga ganon.
Wow, that's so much fun. I'm so glad to hear this story. Sobrang nakakatuwa, no? How you create your own ways of making things respectful and catering to the different strengths of your students. Talagang you really make use of that. And I think that shows how you are as a teacher na you really get to know your students.
Yes. And also with that, I think technically, in terms of grading, kasi that's always a concern. Sa amin kasi we have a final output. Lahat ng subjects yan magkakaroon ng final output. So what we do, we have a unified one. So I can be I can be tied up. I can be tied up with computer and robotics, and then I can be also tied up with English. So yung bata, si learner, isa lang yung ginagawa niyang project. Syempre ako talaga nostalgic eh. Naalala niyo yung bata tayo, sobrang daming projects. Oh my goodness, parang I cannot. Kids nowadays, when you give them a lot of projects, parents get to make reklamo. Diba? There's a lot of going on, ganyan, and then there's whatever. But, yeah, gumagaan din technically yung buhay ng estudyante kasi you get to integrate it with other subject as well.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Abby.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Ella or Miss Trina, for that. Very loaded ng lahat ng sinabi niya. Ang ganda. Actually, I was just agreeing with everything that she said. And I also want to piggyback on some of the things she mentioned. Um, Actually, one of the things, kasi na-realize ko lang, one of the things music teachers often underestimate is the power of providing breaks. Like
Yes.
whether you are different learning styles, different way of receiving information, different way of expressing yourselves, they all need breaks. Like many of us feel pressured to use every minute of your lesson for learning to happen. Dapat punong-puno to ng siksik ng information. But then sobrang overwhelming nun for other people. And so short breaks actually help students, regulate, refocus, and also retain information much better. So yun lang. Parang I have a lot of students na kunyari nagtuturo ako. I'm talking about individualized like one-on-one lessons. Of course, it's different if it's a class. But then for one-on-one lessons, pag feeling ko okay, nagsistem na siya, feeling ko overwhelmed na siya sa sound, sa noise, sa lights and everything, I give them a short break. And then pagbalik nila, ang bilis. Ang bilis bigla ng progress. So doon ko nakikita na it's not giving students breaks can actually hinder their learning. Na mas nakaka-damage pa pala if tuloy-tuloy ako. Yun.
Yes.
Wala silang time to self-regulate. So, yun. I'm just saying na very purposeful ang breaks. So, yeah. Never
Thank you,
underestimate.
Abby. I agree. Can you talk about more the stimming because maybe some of our audience may not know what that is.
Yeah, stimming, usually it's a different, like repetitive movements that the person does to help regulate their emotions, if there are other like sensory needs or to
Yeah.
help them focus better. There are also like misconceptions na if a student who has autism stims, hindi na siya nakikinig. When in fact, he is using his stims to actually focus better. Like I had a student before, verbal stimming naman siya. So, habang nagla-lesson kami, talagang high-pitch nagsasalita siya alongside me. So, ang ginagawa ko, nilalakasan ko yung boses ko kasi iniisip ko, okay, hindi niya ako maintindihan. Sabay kami nagsasalita, hindi kami magkarinigan. So, let me raise my voice even like louder.
Mm-mm.
So, apparently, nung trinay ko, nung napagod na rin ako, kasi parang, okay, sigawan lang kami sa classroom, let me try to talk in a normal voice. And then, nung nagsalita ako normal voice, nakasunod siya. Like, parang tinanong ko na siya, can you find C? Like, in a normal, like, voice. Tapos, tinundit niya C while he was stimming. So, I was like, oh, okay. So, he understands me. It's just his way, siguro, of, how do you say, filtering the noise around him to
Mm-mm.
better focus on what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But then, yeah, some people think na stimming is bad, but it's not actually. So, sa akin, we never stop stimming unless, it's causing them to hurt themselves, to hurt other people, or a danger to other people, to themselves. But otherwise, stimming helps them calm down and regulate.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Abby. And I hope that everybody that hears this, because we don't have these resources so much on stimming and having students, like, what do we do? So I love your example because you not only, like, you tried trial and error to match their energy. And then you just saw na, okay, hindi, pakiramdaman to. We need a break. We need to calm things down. Thank you. How about you, Grishel?
I remember the one student, yung sabi kasi sa stimming. Remember the one student, so it was a group activity. And then he was stimming then throughout the time that I was singing, ganyan. So I just let him naman, even though there are others, pero yun medyo nadidistract na yung others. But we didn't realize, so we just had one session together, that as a group. And the next week, next weekan, nagulat ako, he knows the song. Like, he was singing the songs that we were singing the other week. So sabi ko, okay, yeah. So I really saw then na it's really good. Na stimming is very good for the children also. Kasi sabi ko, I thought that time I really thought that hala baka ah, na hindi niya kaya, para ganon. So that's when I realized then na, okay, he needs to regulate himself para he can really get something from the session. So parang yun talaga yung nakita ko. And also, with the breaks, uh, I really, really think na talagang kailangan din ng breaks. So one thing from music therapy that I apply in the classroom then, although totally different sila. Correction. Ano lang din, para din lang malinaw. Totally different sila, but I learned to test first the instrument that I'm gonna use in the classroom.
Mm-mm.
Kasi, di ba, sometimes it can be overstimulating for them, for the children.
Yes.
So, I consider like, okay, am I gonna use guitar today or am I gonna use ukulele today? Kasi sometimes guitar is too much for the for a child. So that's when I use ukulele, parang ganon. So it really, I consider ano yung gagamitin ko, or like, okay, sige, gagamit ba ako ng actual piano? Or too much ba yung vibrations, yung ganyan? Or yung electric na lang para at least makokontrol ko siya, yung ganon. So, yun talaga really natutunan ko siya. And then, after our first meeting na ganon, that's when I will start incorporating na rin other instruments. Pero yun pa rin, every time I introduce a new instrument, try ko muna kung okay ba, kasi minsan talaga hindi. And then, I always tell them then na if it's too much for you, being inside the classroom with lots of instruments, especially if it's rhythm, na merong drums, lahat merong drums, sabi ko, if it's too much for you, just let me know. Pwede kayong magkaroon ng break. Like,
Yes.
2-minute break outside muna, parang ganun. So it's very important then for me. The breaks are really, really beneficial for them. Yeah.
I like that because you also think about the perspective of the student. And chine-check mo muna if it's overly something that will cause sensory overload for them. Right? And I think that's something that we also have to consider in our classrooms now, because like even a simple instrument like the drum or the cymbals, some students will not like that. Right? And I like your idea of giving a break, having them verbalize or having them signal that teach, parang it's too much for me. Yes, thank you, Rachel. You also talked about something, and this segues to our next question, because sometimes we will feel as teachers na, ay, my student isn't paying attention, they're not looking at me, they're talking alongside me, like with the stimming. So, I think maybe we can give our teachers now some tips on how to recognize that, and also talk more on how you accepted it as a teacher na this is part of their regulation. Abby.
Yeah, so when you mentioned eye contact, I used to, before pa ako nag-masters, I used to believe that I can only get their attention pag nag-eye contact kami. Otherwise, nakikinig sa akin. But then, yeah, because of course, it is often seen as a sign of attention, as respect in some cultures, perhaps. But then for students who are, for autistic students or neurodivergent learners, eye contact is very uncomfortable and sometimes even painful.
Yes.
So we should not force students to make eye contact with us. They are listening. I'm telling you now, they are listening to you. As long as you can test, learning, not test, but then you can do some sort of assessment if they are really listening or if they really understand what you said. But then eye contact is just not one of it, should not be one of it. There are so many ways to test if they understand what you're teaching. But yeah, many students stay fully engaged even when they're looking at their instruments, looking at something else. It's just, yeah, just don't force eye contact.
Thank you. Yes, that's really important. Yes, Grishel.
I think also yung kasi parang when I really took music therapy, I understood that like it's not just like what nga Miss Abby mentioned, like it's not just eye contact nga. Like it's the whole like person. Kung ano yung especially body language. Body language is very important. Sometimes
Yes.
akala nga natin hindi sila nakikinig kasi parang hindi siya tumitingin or parang bakit ayaw niya hawakan ng instrument. But for those na for example yung they can't sit na yung the whole period. Hindi nga sila nagpe-play ng instrument. But you can see, as they walk, nasa rhythm sila ng song. Parang ganun. So
Mm,
even those small things, we also look na, okay, that one, that's also a sign na parang they're receptive of what we're doing. Something like that. So there are lots of things. Also, sometimes, akala natin tumatakbo, parang ganun. Pero, if you tell them na maybe okay, for example, we're playing the guitar, kumakanta ka, pero you think the student is not paying attention kasi it's just running around, parang ganon, hindi. Pero when you ask them, oh, do you know the song na ba? Do you want to strum it on the guitar? We have that one intervention in therapy also. Na, okay, they will strum the guitar, I will play the chord, and then he or she will strum it for me. We have that. Pero when they play it, when I sing it and they play it, nasa tamang ano sila, rhythm, sa tamang beat sila. So,
wow.
yeah, so we really thought na, okay, akala natin na wala nga kasing eye contact. So parang, okay, so parang tama ba yung ginagawa ko? Kasi meron ding, honestly, like, pwede talagang magka-doubts
Yes.
with that. Yeah, meron talagang doubts with that. Pero we don't know, like we were talking about this a lot naman in music education even during undergrad na music is very natural to a human. So that's how I really saw na it's true talaga na to everyone it's music is with everyone kasi 'di ba like meron tendencies na okay only um typical children can really do music or like highly gifted divergent children who can just parang highly functional na divergent children sila lang yung magaling parang ganon pero it's not ganon lang meron parang it's everyone na nandiyan talaga siya sa lahat ng tao na I really saw nga na even, you know, yung gumagalaw yung ulo nila, yun, like, everything na galaw nila during that time that you were teaching or you were doing the intervention, music intervention is really something na, like, a feedback from them na, okay, I'm receiving what you're giving me, what music you're giving me. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Rachel. I think tama ka eh. You know, the body language says a lot. And we also need to give opportunities for students to see if they're actually, participating, and how they're participating is different for everybody. Yeah, so I love the fact na you took the cue from the running, tas chinek mo, nasa beat pala siya. Thank you. How about you, Miss Ella?
Actually kasi, the different thing is, most of the kids nga sa kanila are ayun nga, mainstreaming sa amin, sa akin
Mm-mm.
kasi medyo mas
Mm-mm.
regular, mas regular yung mga kids. So, I think for this question, maybe I can ako ano lang ako, sobrang galing niyo dun sa part na yun. Kasi maybe natututo talaga. I was listening, parang ang galing nung part na yun. And yun lang, wala ko masyadong makwento dun sa part na yun dahil nga kami, naka-mainstream kasi kami. Minsan talagang larong-laro lang kami sa music, pero natututo sila. Because that's the only way naman. Kasi, syempre, gagradean mo rin naman sila. And then, um, yun, natutuwa ako din sa mga sharing nyo. And ang galing. I think, I like what both Miss Grishel and Miss Gabriel said na, ayun, steaming. I like that. I didn't know, tama ba yung term, steaming?
Yes, stimming.
I didn't know I was doing that, but it was that pala. So parang it was an aha moment for me. I learned from you guys, and I think it's good that we have this kind of avenue to really share. Ang galing. Kasi ako kasi parang, okay, sige, let's just ano muna. In our school,
Mm-mm.
it's a generic thing. We call that a moment of silence. Well, it's ano naman siya. It's like, may chime siya natutunog sa buong eskwelahan. Tutunog siya. And then, as in, para siya yung sa mga monk. Pero hindi naman sa sobrang parang ano talaga. Pero mga ano lang yun, 1 minute. Kahit nagsasalita ka for the whole community, if you get to hear the moment of silence, you really have to be silent. Kahit turong-turo ka, okay, just talagang tatahimik ka. And the kids know also that they have to keep quiet. So for us being a Catholic school, it's for us to seize the day and look outside, thank the Lord for all the blessings. And I think that's one way of our school to like steam if that's really the ano. And in fairness ha, tatahimik talaga. Pati canteen, pati guard, pati lahat, miss. It's like, ano siya, 2 minutes? 2 minutes of chime. And kids are really, for example, nagbabasketball, mabasketball pa rin, pero quiet lang. No one's gonna talk. If they have like group works, syempre maingay yun. Pero mararamdaman mo na it's a moment of silence for everyone. It's for the whole school. So feeling ko, nung before hindi mo kasi siya ma-appreciate, pero I think that's one of our one of our good practices in our school that
Yeah,
we can, ikaw rin as a person, tatahimik ka na, ay, kahit ang ingay ng klase, thank you Lord, meron akong 2 minutes of silence. Parang ganon. And medyo ikaw rin, yun nga, sabi nyo nga steaming, me as a teacher, okay game after this. Parang ganon siya, miss.
Yeah, so I think what Abby meant, because she connected stimming, which is like the response, it's an automatic way of regulation. For some people, it can be verbal, it can also be physical, where they're moving and they do it to help regulate. And I think what you're talking about is also in terms of self-regulation. It's taking silence, right? Having that beautiful break, which I like. I think having a chime to remind you na parang, okay, it's time to appreciate what we're doing. That's so important. And I think teachers need that also. So thank you,
Pero ikaw
Carla.
rin. Pero ikaw rin papatingin ka rin sa labas kasi medyo marami kaming puno sa labas. So, papatingin ka rin, okay, moment of silence. And kids were like, parang moment silence, huwag na magsalita pa na. But it was, I remember parang nung one time yung may mga visitors kami from other school because we're also PASCO accredited and I think required silang parang mag-visit ng school higher level than their school. Tapos kwentong-kwento sila. Tapos parang ting, ting. Tapos walang nagsasalit. Tapos parang nagulat sila na, hala, ang tahimik talaga. And kaya siya. At first kasi parang it's impossible for the whole community to keep quiet eh. Diba? Parang it's imposible siya. Pero since, alam ng mga bata, it's a moment of silence. I don't know nga kung saan nila nakuha yung chime na yun. Pero, simple lang talaga siya. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Diretso lang siya. Mga 2 minutes. Tapos tatahimik yung mga bata. Tapos tahimik lang. Wala. Ikaw rin. Parang thank you, Lord, for this silence. Yun lang po.
I
I
love
mean,
that.
like,
We're gonna
sana
apply that.
mag-disappear sa school namin para we get to talk talaga live.
Yes, we will definitely have like a coffee chat all together. Okay, last question for today. What is something that you are very excited about that you're working on?
Sige, ako na lang ulit. Kasi parang wala akong na-answer kanina. Well, actually, for our school, medyo mahirap for our school. We have we have two schools. Like, we have here in Las Piñas and we have in Cavite. And we're celebrating our 50th anniversary. And every 5 years before, we always have Soler, CCP, tas malaki siyang mga event. Pero last year kasi, because of the pandemic, it took us 10 years again to do it. So, like right now, we are also in cooperation with PETA. So, we're gonna make a musical. Yon. And we're so excited about it. But, the whole campus, each campus, parang meron, basta yung participants of the whole thing is around 1,500 kids from
Wow.
both campuses. Kaya parang, medyo nakakabaliw siya in the sense because gumagaling ako sa organizational skills. Parang gano'n. Kahit ang hirap kasi, where do I put? Because there are times that the rehearsals go from one campus to another. We have to we have to have fitting for 600 plus kids. We have to think of all those things. And it's kind of difficult, but I think back in college, parang one thing that music taught me, I think, being a music educator, is the discipline on how to do things. Kasi there are times na if it gets really difficult, you give up, diba? But I think one of the things that we have in common with athletes and musicians and artists is, I do believe that we don't give up easily, especially when like for me, I remember when I get to my teacher, because back in the day, nung medyo okay pa yung boses ko, I was a coloratura. And my teacher ang hirap ng mga pyesa, di ba? Talagang dun sa taas siya. And mahirap, classical, alam niyo po yan, kasi nagka-classical tayong lahat ng tugtog and everything. It's pretty hard to do it. And you have to do it slowly, you have to do it over and over and over and over again. So I think, yung disiplina rin ng pagiging musician and artist natin, it comes after. Parang you won't realize until you get to have work, you get to be given a big task. Kasi yun, paano mo siya gagawin lahat? Paano mo ayusin yung mga bagay-bagay? So, yun. And it's kind of difficult, but right now the music teachers are having in reality, just to segue, most of the MAPE teachers are having a hard time now in the Philippines because of the matatag curriculum. I don't know if your school are affected by that, but most of the schools are affected by the matatag curriculum, wherein tinatanggal nila yung music ng grades 1, 2, at ibabalik siya ng grade 4, I think. Parang ganon. So, some of the music teachers, they get to teach other subjects also to integrate the makabansa and all those things. So, that's another challenge for us, for the music teachers, both in private and public schools. Kasi, yun yung reality na nangyayari ngayon. For example, like me, I also teach JMRC, but I'm a music teacher. Diba? There are some teachers nga, they even napunta sila sa science, napunta sila sa ibang subjects. But the challenge is, how are you going to integrate music and all these things? Because that's the goal daw of matatag and everything. Well, that's another story. Pero, yun nga, nakaka-excite yung mga susunod na mga kabanata, pero medyo tiring, but being the music teacher that we are, and I know, you know that also, that everyone is very flexible. Yun. And, yun nga, siguro dahil batak tayo sa mga practices. I don't know, di ba nung college tayo, ganun batak na batak talaga tayo So, whatever it is, parang magpapahinga ka lang, and then everything will be go na ulit. Yun lang.
Thank you, Ma'am Ella. Wow. First of all, congratulations and good luck to your school. I think it's going to be a wonderful production in Soler. And then you also acknowledge something very important that music teachers are facing today. And I think that's definitely a conversation that maybe we can have in the future. Kasi we have to think about how music teachers adapt and change to their times, to curriculum. Thank you so much. Okay, who would like to share next? Yes, Abby.
All right. Good luck, Miss Ella, with everything that's happening and going on. And I hope everything works out. Yeah, so what am I very excited about? So I just recently returned to the Philippines after 7 years of working abroad and being away.
Woo!
And I'm finally doing something that truly excites me, I guess. And my goal is eventually build an inclusive, sorry, music school, or even just start small, like a small studio that welcomes and supports neurodivergent individuals. And I'm excited to be teaching again. I haven't taught for a very long time, and mas nakaka-drain pala yun pag hindi mo ginagawa kung ano yun. Kasi sometimes, you listen to other people on what success looks like to them. And uh, and that did not resonate with me at all. So sabi ko, you know what? I'll just um mute everyone's opinions and just listen to what really makes me happy. And so finally I'm doing that, and I'm very excited for it. I'm also excited to hopefully have a platform where I can train other teachers on how to work effectively with neurodivergent children. Kasi hindi din naman, I'm trying to reserve my slots for neurodivergent kids or kids with
Mm-mm.
disabilities and autism. Pero syempre, isa lang ako. Parang ang konti lang ng masasakop kong demographic. So, the best way to actually help these students and to give quality education for everyone to have access to it is to train other teachers. And then, mamumultiply mo yun eh. Kasi, bawat teachers na marunong magturo, magagawa yun, makakatulong times 50 pa sa mga estudyante nila. So, yun. Just,
True.
very simple. I just want to create a space where every student feels like they belong. So, yeah.
That's amazing, Abby. All the best. Like, I'm really excited for your work here in the Philippines, and we're so happy to welcome you back.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
How about you, Rachel?
Something that gives me excitement ngayon is I think finally applying music therapy here sa Philippines kasi konti pa lang siya and I'm finishing my clinical hours kasi I will be applying for the board examination for the certification music therapy kasi sa Philippines wala pa tayo, so I'm
Yes.
really wala pa tayo dito, so ngayon I'm working on that. Tinatapos ko lang yung mga kailangan kong tapusin for it, so by next year hopefully sana ma-fulfill ko siya. And then but I will be starting na rin practicing here sa Philippines. I think I'm gonna start with uh, neurodivergent children kasi syempre yun yung I was trained on that. So pagbalik ko talaga dito, yung heart is parang the heart talaga is in the Philippines. Yung talaga yung ano ko eh. Yung parang talagang I try to weigh in different things. So yeah, staying in the Philippines is really what I want to do. So right now I'm so excited to share music therapy here sa Pilipinas. Even though I'm teaching right now, uh, I'm happy also to share kung ano yung difference ng education tsaka music therapy kasi syempre may misconception ngayon, 'di ba? Mayroong
Yes.
misconception especially dito sa Pilipinas kung I think I'm doing music therapy kasi my students were relaxed after I played this. Pero 'di ba? I want to share knowledge then na okay, hindi dahil ganun, it's music therapy already. Parang I want to share that as well with other teachers, and not just other teachers, for those who are interested na maintindihan kung ano ba talaga yung difference dun sa dalawa. And one thing is that another thing is that with practicing here, another thing that excites me is kasi every client kasi, every child, every student, I believe they're different. So iba talaga sila with each other.
Yes.
So I'm excited every time I will have sessions. I'm excited every time na I will meet them kasi ganito sila last week. Pero this week, it's gonna be different. So I'm very happy that I can apply to them. Syempre, nag-aral tayo. Yung you can see talaga yung natutunan mo. Okay, it's this one. Even though we're doing internship before while studying, pero ito na pala yun, yung parang real world talaga na. Okay, you're on your own. Gagawin mo na yung lahat na natutunan mo from internship, from your studying, ganun. So, every day, I really believe that every day is different. Every session is different. So that's what excites me right now. Thank you.
I love that. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been such a pleasure to listen to each one's stories kasi it's so exciting. We have different ways to apply music inclusivity in the classroom, in therapy sessions, and even in the Makabayan curriculum, which I think we can hopefully speak more on in the future. I really loved each of your insights, and for everybody listening, please follow Philippine Society for Music Education on Facebook, and we'll have more episodes for you in the future. Thank you, everybody.